There we are. Sorry about that, darlings. Sorry about that. Hopefully, we'll give it a minute. Hopefully, you found your way. I am. I'm beyond exhausted. Absolutely beyond exhausted. All of that I was saying last night about how it's going to be a nice, easy day, and I was no longer dreading it. I should have dreaded it. It's been horrific. Apologies for that. I'm knackered. I don't really know what I'm doing. And I set the live stream up when I was still at work. I only got home a quarter of an hour ago. I set the live stream up when I was at work, and I set it up in vertical, and you can't then change it. So I had no option but to end it and start another one. So I apologize for that, and I apologize for the confusion. So let's start again, shall we? Oh God, I can't walk. I'm too tired. Oh. Sorry, Reggie. Oh God. Oh dear. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? Right, before we start spreading some comfort and joy and talking about how wonderful your days have all been, let me just explain that I'm so tired. I'm physically and emotionally knackered. I'm short of sleep. I was up early this morning. I was late to bed. It's been that way for a couple of nights. And I've just put in the hardest day's work I can remember doing for a bloody long time. And I've had it. I've had it. My legs are shaky. My back's gone. I'm just absolutely stuffed. I'll get a second wind when the wine is open. Don't worry about that. But at the moment, honestly, honest to God, all I really want to do is to just crawl into bed, pull the covers up around me, and sleep for about, well, a minimum of 18 hours. Dear, oh dear. Oh. Oh. But there we are. That aside, welcome to a very special Wednesday. I'm dizzy. I'm so tired. I'm physically dizzy. A very warm welcome to a very special Wednesday night live, because it is no ordinary Wednesday. It is Christmas Day, darlings. And gosh, what a thing. I'm bloody grateful mine is over. And I hope I don't have to do it next year. I hope I can wiggle out of it somehow. Oh, God. I mean, it's a two-way street. That was the best organized Christmas Day and the smoothest Christmas Day service that we've had, full stop, ever. I think that's fair to say. But my God, it was the hardest work, and I had there was a good team in, and they all just felt like they'd been run over by a bus by the time we got to the end of it. To give you an idea, our staff lunch was ready at about 2 o'clock. We were going to go for an early one. We sat down and ate it at 8 p.m. Seriously, it's on video and everything. It's been horrendous. It's been brilliant, but God, it's been hard. So hard. And I'm an old man. I can't cope with that. My age. Oh, and it's 2 hours until I can get a glass of wine to. Oh, to help. Oh, God, my back is killing me. Honestly, what a physical wreck. My back's gone. Legs are shaky. Feel like I've done a few rounds with Tyson Fury. Never mind. Right, darlings, we are going to be together for the rest of Christmas Day. We have got 3 lovely, wonderful community hours to take us through till the end of Christmas Day and the beginning of Boxing Day. So we've got all the time in the world. It's going to be nice and slow. Don't feel that you have to be here throughout it. I'm sure you've got other things on the go, family, friends, children, goodness knows what. Feel free to nip in and out as you see fit. But thank you for your company. Thank you for being here at all. And let's plow on with your comments, shall we? I'm going to get some stick for us in the live stream, aren't I? But who we got with us? Peter P's here, Matron's here, Steve Cole, Dan Blacksmith, Carol C. Did we say Steve Cole? We did. Oh, Charlotte Williams, hello. Paulie Galtieri, the lovely Richard. Simone Nyman, who can't talk properly and is in a sugar overdose coma. Hedgehog's down. I've only just woken up, says Steve. You lucky so-and-so. You're looking frazzled, says Carol C. Sending big hugs. Thank you. I am beyond frazzled. I am broken. I am broken. We all are. We all are. It's been, what a day. What a day. Oh. Oh. But as I say, probably the smoothest running, most successful in that regard. The customers had a fantastic time. They were full to the brim. Most of them took food home with them for tomorrow because they couldn't plow through it all. So we made up loads and loads of doggy bags. A lot of them were really rather tipsy. Some of them were, quite frankly, absolutely bloody trousered. They really were. But they were all happy, they were all content, and they were all lovely and grateful, which was really nice. I think they saw how hard everyone was working, just trying to keep things as smooth as possible, keep everything moving, keep everybody happy. And I think more than ever before, people saw that and they were so appreciative and so grateful. I've already had a shed load of bookings for next Christmas. Loads of them said, can we book now for next Christmas? Yep, absolutely. Certainly you can. So, yeah, it was a successful day, but, oh, God, it's going to take some recovering from. And, we're straight into Boxing Day tomorrow, probably going to be busier than a normal Thursday. Then we're into a holiday weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's all going to be busy. No day off for me on Monday. We're opening on Monday, unless things change. So no rest there. Then we're into the madness of New Year's Eve and New Year's, and then we're pretty much into another weekend. So it's going to be quite a while before I get a rest. As I said on the video driving home, by the time it gets to my birthday breakaway, I shall probably book into the hotel, climb on the bed to see how comfortable it is, and then sleep until it's time to check out. But there we are. There we are. I would love to hear about your Christmas days. I would love to know what you ended up eating. I hope you've all had a good day. If you have, please feel free to share. But if you haven't had a good day, if it's been difficult for you, then please do feel even more free to share. So whatever your situation, it doesn't matter. We're here. We're all together. We're going to be here until midnight, even if some of you are watching Gavin and Stacey. So let's just chill out. I'll try and stay awake, and we'll have a fabulous time. I'm sure we will. Have some sugar, says Carol C. Is there any chocolate in the house? No, I don't have chocolate. I don't have chocolate in here. Carol had an early start, just had a martini espresso. That should keep her awake for a while. Oh, I could have a cup of coffee, couldn't I? I could have a cup of coffee. you know what? I'm going to have a cup of coffee. That might do me the world of good. I'll put the water there. So I still want water as well, but yeah, let's have a coffee. A good hit of caffeine might do me the world of good. DL is with us. Festive salutations to each and every one of you. Hope you've all had a lovely day. I hope so too. Simone Sugar Overdose is well and truly kicking in. Mystic Hair is with us. Good evening, Boaty and team. Chaz Brown. Hello, Boaty and all. Poker Hunters 100. Hello, Boaty and everyone in chat. Steve and Sheba got up at 4 p.m. Who's Sheba? I keep seeing references to Sheba, and I've missed out. Who is it? Is it a pet? Oh boy, Boaty, says Simone. I'm totally done in and buggered up, and not in a pleasurable way. Oh, bad luck. Bad luck. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. If a 32-year-old Alanis Morissette came in and said, "Hey, Boney," it's a good impression, isn't it? Why don't you turn that thing off and take me upstairs and give me a damn good pottering? I'd have to say, I'm sorry, love. You picked the wrong night. It's not happening. You have to sort yourself out. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon about 2 o'clock. Bring me up a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee in bed, and I'll see what I can do. But for the moment, you're on your own, darling. Oh, hell, goddamn. I knew I should have tried Hubnut. Vivian K is with us. Hello, hi, Boaty, and everyone. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Steakog says, my mum cooked me Christmas dinner. She's 74. She made me 2. Would you like to see my Christmas dinner? Oh, sounds like my coffee's done. Oh, not that one. See, I don't even know what button I'm pressing. There you go, darlings. That was my Christmas lunch that I had at 8 p.m. So don't you dare complain about yours, any of you. Let's get me coffee. Now then, somebody did mention sugar, so I will take their advice, and we'll have some nice Demerara sugar in our coffee. Why not? Now, jokes about coffee are rare, but jokes about sugar, Demerara. Oh dear. Oh, there were some terrible jokes in the crackers today. We put Christmas crackers on all the tables, of course we do. And some of the jokes were absolutely terrible. And I don't just mean as in a, oh God. I mean as in a, oh God. They were dreadful. Dreadful. I could come up with better jokes than that when I was half asleep and half drunk, which is how I hope to be later on, darlings. That is my aim and plan for this evening. By about 11:30, I hope to be half asleep and half drunk. And we've got something to look forward to. And when I say we, I normally say we because I'm talking about us, the community, but really, on this occasion, I mean me. Look at that. I have got that to look forward to. Oh, I just hope I'm not too tired to enjoy it. I won't be too tired to enjoy it. I haven't had a bottle of wine like this since last night, but you know what I mean. It's been a long time. I'm looking forward to getting myself outside of that. I will stay there then. Do me a favour. And you know what I might do? Seeing as it's Christmas, I might go really, really mad. And when the nice wine has all gone, and trust me, it will be all gone, I might finish off my Christmas night with a well iced double vodka and tonic. Just to make absolutely sure that I fall asleep the minute my head hits the pillow. Although I am at risk. This happens every now and then when I get super tired. Um, I have been known to fall asleep here. I think I did it live, didn't I? Didn't I fall asleep into my noodles at about 2 o'clock, one ungodly. Was that the night that me and Emma came back from Llandudno? I was going to say I vaguely remember falling asleep in my noodles. I don't remember it at all, but I know it was in her video, so it obviously happened. I'm just grateful she didn't have any footage of me singing to my little tinkle. I'm not sure would have been comfortable with that being out there on YouTube. Well, cheers, darlings. Ugh. If anybody's remotely interested, and I'm sure you won't be, this is Kenko, what's it called? Americano XL, I think. Oh, Americano Grande XL. That is my coffee of choice. Oh, and if you're interested in further information, then both the sugar bowl and the coffee mug are Denby Homestead, so 1960s, and the spoon is Arthur Price International King's pattern. So there you go. I mean, you can't say that you don't get the details. Mustard never gives you the details on what he's drinking his tea in, does he? Furious Driving might bang on about tea shelfery in a car, but he doesn't give you this sort of minutiae on his drinking vessel. And don't even get started about what Hubnut doesn't do. Honestly. Carol C says, little grandchildren are back in bed. They've had a lovely day. Traditional Christmas meal at 2 p.m. cooked by son-in-law, and it was delicious. Was Alanis in Bonanza? Asked Peter P. I don't think so. And Carol played lots of board games and card games and watched the new Wallace and Gromit film on BBC. Carol C, and I second this, Carol C is saving Gavin and Stacey for later, so please no spoilers. And that goes for the rest of us too. There's no way I'm going to watch it tonight because there's no way I'm going to be awake an hour and a half after the live stream. Not if I make it till the end of the live stream, I'm doing well. An hour and a half after, you can forget it. So I will probably catch up with Gavin and Stacey tomorrow or the day after. So keep your spoilers to yourself. Be interesting to guess what's going to happen though. I hope it's not underwhelming. So many finales are a bit underwhelming, aren't they? The best finale of a series that I ever saw, I think, we can make this a feature if you want. What was the best final episode or something? The one that springs to my mind of the best final episode or something would be The Sopranos. I thought that was a genius ending. And I do want to watch The Sopranos again. I've got the box sets, every single series. And that's back to me thinking about getting a little televisual, but I can't think where I would put it. I did think about on top of the fridge, but I don't know. But a little televisual with a DVD player would need to be in here, really, wouldn't it? Because this is where I always am. I mean, if I'm not here, then I'm on the loo, and that's no place for watching television, darlings. On the loo is a place where you read books, not watch television. Um, or I'm in the bath, and again, that is not a place for a televisual. Although in the Bellagio in Vegas, you got a television in your bathroom and you got a phone in your shower, and I'm not making that up. If any of you guys have stayed at the Bellagio in one of the better rooms, then you will back me up on that. Yeah, television in the bathroom, telephone in the shower. Oh, God bless America. Oh, I didn't do all of the normal shenanigans, did I? Right, we've got loads and loads of time. If you wish to, you can ask a Hedgehog of Truth question. There's a box here that wants a good pounding, and there is a portable, community portable electric telephone device where you can leave a voice note should you so wish. Very nice wine, says Carol C. Yeah, it looks it, doesn't it? I can't wait. I cannot wait. Boaty looks taller, says Steve Gold. I've probably lost about 2 stone during today's service, so that might make me look taller. A very Merry Christmas, Boaty and Bog, says the lovely Andrew Buttigieg, channel member, no less, who we knew once and still love as Ivor Spotty Butty. Popping out, see in a little while, says Carol C. Boaty's got high heels and I haven't. Did Boaty have a busy night at the restaurant? Oh my God. God. Right, Christmas night. Christmas is always the busiest service of the year, and this was the busiest one yet. So, yeah, if you've only just joined us, I got home from the restaurant quarter of an hour before starting this live stream, and I'm so exhausted I can barely speak. I'm drinking coffee so that I can, hopefully, the caffeine will keep me awake until midnight. My back is killing me. My legs are shaking like a shitting dog. I'm not used to being on my feet for 8 hours straight. Literally, it was 8 hours before I got to sit down. Oh, yeah, and food-wise, darlings, as I explained earlier, we sat down for our lunch, which was planned for 2 o'clock. We sat down for it at 8 p.m., all of us, and we looked like a bunch of shoulders, a bunch of soldiers who'd just been in a field battle. And there was that kind of survival spirit as well. We were all just, oh God, we made it. We made it. I mean, you know, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have to go to work tomorrow, but there you go. Yeah, Boaty did have a busy night at the restaurant, Andrew. Simone has got the being in the ring with Tyson feeling, but except she's not sure that she's actually got out of it as yet. Steve once played Monopoly on Christmas Day and it lasted until New Year's Day. Oh, and Peter P's telling Andrew that I am knackered and buggered. Yeah. I saw an interview with the kids from the show called Outnumbered. Crikey, says Andrew. They're all grown up now and there's a Christmas special on tomorrow. Right. All I know about the kids in Outnumbered is that one of them is the son of 2 very, very famous porn stars. What's his name? Tiger Drew something, and he's the son of Bendover and Lindsay Drew, who I believe are very well known. Pornographic star actors. Oh, it's coffee in the cup. I thought you couldn't be asked washing a glass for the wine. Oh, do I need to wash a glass for the wine? I might do. I went to bed quite late last night. Hold on. Thanks for the heads up. I'll do that now. There we go. That's that now. And now then, I wasn't washing a wine glass. I was washing the wine glass because I'm literally down to one glass. So if you come round here, we'll have to have a glass of wine between us and two straws. I'll buy some in the New Year sale, maybe. Oh, excuse me, maybe. Or I'll just nick, some from work. But yeah, I'm down to one wine glass. Just due to the normal breakages. I haven't got any nice wine glasses at the moment. Now, normally, like I have multiple sets of cutlery, normally I would have multiple wine glasses, everyday glasses, Sunday wine glasses, Christmas wine glasses. And I haven't at the moment. So I didn't mean to buy some. I was looking on Marketplace and eBay and whatnot for some really nice cut glass wine glasses to go on my booth stand in the front parlour. So I must, yeah, I'll remind myself to do that. I'll get some nice cut glass ones for best, and then I'll just pick up some cheapies from somewhere or other for the everyday plonk, or nick some from work. We've got nice ones at work at the moment. I really like them, although they are a little overly capacious. Really. If you pour, they're so big, the wine glasses at work now, that if you poured a standard measure of wine into them, like a standard pub measure, or restaurant measure, whatever it is, it's 125 mil, isn't it? Then it just looks like a tiny little puddle in the bottom of the glass. It looks awful. And I have to, well, I was going to say I have to force myself to actually use the measuring thing tumbler, um, but then I did do that a couple of times, and then I just felt bloody mean. So here's a little tip: if you come to the restaurant and you order a glass of wine, you'll get more than you're paying for, because I don't use measuring things for spirits or for wine or anything else. God knows I've been in and out of restaurants and bars since I was 20 years old. So, I think I can measure by eye by now. But when it comes to the wine, it looks so lost in that big old glass that I always put a glug or two in extra. So there you go. There's your tip. Order a glass of wine at Kathmandu Gurkha Ripley. You'll get more than you're paying for. Mm. Booze stand, not boo stand. Oh, Lindsay Drew. I remember her, says Andrew. Poorly Gaultieri, Richard, is currently drying and putting the washing up away. And you don't get that on Hub Night. He says, well, you don't, do you? You don't. There are a plethora of things available to you here in Boaty's world. What you don't get on Hub Night. What you don't get on Hub Night. So how have your days been, darlings? Have you all had wonderful days? Has anybody had a present that they particularly loved? Has anybody had a present that they were really disappointed by? Has anybody had a present that was so bad it was comical, like my mother-in-law used to send me? Everybody couldn't wait to see my present from the mother-in-law because it was always so bad everybody would crack up at it. Or are you like me and you haven't had a single present at all? Boat is so disciplined, not drinking wine until 11. Well, for good reason. If I started, sorry, I've got a grain of rice washing about my mouth. If I started drinking wine now, then by midnight, when the stream is supposed to be coming towards finishing, I would either be have been fast asleep for an hour, or I would be so drunk that I'd be telling you every secret that I've ever known, because I do get hideously indiscreet. And I'd probably be stripping off, I'd probably be naked and telling secrets or proposing to you or something. Oh dear. Oh, Stratospherian is with us. Hello, good evening to you. Well, that's the coffee done. Did you get any Christmas Day tips at the restaurant today, Boaty? Asked Mr. Cat. Yeah, there would have been. Well, as I said the other night, we don't keep them. They go into a pot. But I think there was about 300 or 400 quid in tips. People tend to be pretty generous on Christmas Day. I only have the boots I bought myself yesterday, Boaty, says Simone. Well, you're doing better than me. I haven't even got a present that I bought myself. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. They'll all get shared out at the beginning of next month with the rest of this month's tips. I had a dream, says Steve Cold, about my dead father. He bought me a dog from the pub. Best Christmas present ever. It lasted about half an hour and I could hear him talking and everything. Oh, they're difficult to wake up from, aren't they? Because you wake up and it takes you a while to realize that they were a dream. Some of those, they still feel very real when you wake up. And then it can be a disappointment when you realize it's not true. Oh, Skik popped in, bit busy, but didn't want to upset you all by not saying hello on Christmas Day. Skik, that's very kind of you. And to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, that's what I'm expecting. It's Christmas night. Lots of people have got better things to do, but we're here, and they can nip in and say hello, and then bugger off should they wish to, or they can just ignore us totally. We won't be offended, will we? I'm a bit peed off that the dogs didn't buy me anything. That was a real blow, says Simone. Oh, rotten devils. I bet you bought them something, didn't you? Oh, right, coffee done. Water here. Oh, and Andrew says, and I must say hello to the one and only Trace the Matron. Right, I'm going to chill out now, darlings. I'm going to chill out. I'm all caught up with the comments. I can just take it easy. I can actually do some washing up. Food tonight. Well, since I didn't have lunch until 8 p.m., I probably won't want a massive supper, will I? But supper will be Momo. And then I'm going to have a kind of Christmas lunch type thing tomorrow. I will do chicken and roast potatoes, pigs in blankets, all of the normal stuff, green beans, Yorkshire pudding, all of that sort of crap. I'm okay, says Stratospherian. The Christmas dinner, giving gift, etc. is on the 24th. So it was over yesterday. It seems to be common in the other Scandi countries. How about Finland, Peter? Yeah, a lot of countries do it on the 24th, don't they? And Pete P says, yeah, it's the 24th there too. It's even earlier than that in the Netherlands. We were talking about that the other night, weren't we? When Saint Nicholas and the 6 to 8 nameless black men come visiting and beat the children with sticks or put them in a bag and take them to Spain. Might as well have a bit of a tidy round while you lot are all quiet. Are there any good YouTube videos out today? Has anybody put out a nice or interesting or boring Christmas video that you've seen? Or am I the only YouTubist sad enough to actually be online? Oh no, I'm not the only one, am I? I forgot. Sean, my lovely Shawnee. Sean did a fantastic live stream this morning, didn't he? That's right. I caught a little bit of it at work. Very good it was too. Very good it was too. He does a good live stream, does Sean. Prepping his Christmas lunch, bless him, with thousands of his adoring fans all tuned in and telling him he's doing it wrong. Dementia's a cruel disease. A cruel disease. So Simone spent the day with her mum, who sadly has dementia. But it was okay once she relaxed, ended up having a good laugh, and she loved seeing the dogs. That's good. That's good. Andrew's got the same issue with his mum. And Matron's had a lovely day that she spent with her daughters and grandsons. So there we go. There we go. Has anybody else been to work? Am I the only one who's been to work? Sean didn't peel the carrot, says Peter P. accusingly. Well, you don't have to, do you? You don't have to. I mean, a lot of the goodness is in the skin of vegetables. I mean, we don't always peel potatoes, do we? Why peel a carrot? I mean, not that I eat carrots, but I don't know. I don't know if you have to peel them. But that was said in quite an accusatory way. Sean didn't peel the carrots. Oh, and Pocahontas saw that as well. Mr. Hare said he went for the rustic look. Boaty, you're a slave, says Steacold. It caused a lot of comments, says Peter P. Right, Sean does a lot of stuff on purpose just to get people commenting and riled up. Oh, Andrew noticed it as well. Oh, so he does a lot of stuff on purpose, Sean does. He's not daft. He's not daft. Well, I mean, he might just be a really crap cook, in fairness. I've never eaten any of Sean's food. But I'm sure he does a lot of things on purpose, knowing that it's going to wind people up. Oh, hello, Skick's son is with us, and it was kind of him to explain that he was Skick's son after saying, "I like your jacket, thank you very much," because we would never have guessed that you were Skick's son, because your very anonymous username is Skick's son, which. The clue's kind of in the question there, isn't it? Oh, God, it's nice to sit down on my back. Oh, my back. One of the biggest problems that we've got at that restaurant is a lack of automation. So we haven't got any form of dishwasher in the kitchen or sterilizer, and we've got no glass washer in the bar. So it was a full-time job, and I'm not exaggerating. It was literally a full-time job today for somebody to be washing and drying the glasses by hand, because we've only got a finite number of glasses. You know what I mean? And so it was a 7-course meal today, and everybody was greeted with a glass of champagne. So the first glass you've got to have on the table is a champagne flute. In fact, I had to teach the staff that there's no such thing as a champagne glass. They kept talking about champagne glasses. And I said, right, lesson number 743 in correct restaurant etiquette. There is no such thing as a champagne glass. It's a flute. It's a flute. You know, they're not English. Why should they know the idiosyncrasies of culinary English language. So that was a champagne flute per person. And, I'll let you into a secret, darlings. We haven't got 120 champagne flutes. So they had to be recycled. And then, of course, people are having bottles of wine, beers, shots, spirits, you name it. And we only have finite numbers of things. It's not a massive restaurant. There's not a massive amount of, and the same goes for plates and dishes and curry bowls and all of that sort of thing. But I don't worry about that. Well, I didn't worry about it today. So I was entirely front of house today. That was that was my job today. I was just front of house for 8 hours solid, and I must admit I really enjoyed it. But so it was a full-time job, doing the glasses, just so that we had a ready supply of glasses, and it got a bit near to the knuckle. And yeah, that was literally a full-time job, and there's no way, it would be soul destroying to just stand and do that constantly for 8 hours. So I decided that we should all take turns, and but I kind of did double turns, and I'm 6'5". The sink's always too low to me. That's why my back is absolutely slaughtered, because I did double my shift bending over the sink doing the bloody glasses. Although that won't happen again next Christmas. Because Vishnu came in at about, oh God, what time was it? About 5:45, something like that. And there was just a mountain of glasses, and we were trying to get on top of them. So me and Bish's son was in today, Samyog, and he was in from 10 o'clock. I mean, he's a big, powerful young buck. Well, he's almost a doctor now, isn't he? But I mean, he's in his prime, and he was saying, I've never had a day like this. I've never had a day like this. He was broken by the end of it. So he and I were behind the bar. He was washing, I was drying. And when Bish rocked up, having visited a couple of friends' restaurants, had a glass of wine in each, had a very nice time driving around in his brand new top of the range Mercedes. So, so I dug Samyog in the ribs, pulled him out of the way, and I said, "Oh, look! Oh, bless him! Your dad's come to take his turn." And then, in you go, bitch! And I literally walked out after it. He stood up, right, started taking his watch off, rolling up his sleeves, and fair play to Bish. He's not afraid of getting his hands dirty. He did the lot. He stood there and he did the lot. And this was the end mountain of glasses. We'd known the end was coming, so we'd eased off a little bit. And Bish did the bloody lot. And there you go. He came up to me afterwards and he said, I wanted to buy a glass washer. And Ram said no. Ram said it wasn't needed. They were too expensive and it's not needed. He said, listen, get online, find a glass washer that's the right size, make sure it's not gravity fed, make sure that there's enough height for the Cobra pint glasses that we use, and buy it. Just send me the link and I will order it straight away. And don't tell Ram. We're not doing this again. Bugger the kitchen. If they want to be all old school and do it all by hand, let them. We're not having another Christmas behind the bar like that. It was absolutely ridiculous. So there you go. That is my Christmas present. I've got a glass washer coming. I'll jump online over the next couple of days, find one that fits, and we'll get that in. That'll help a lot. And while I'm at it, I'll order a couple of coffee machines as well. Sod Ram. Ram's terrible. He's terrible. He's got this. He's a rich, rich man, and it's a successful business. But he just scrimps and saves on money to a ridiculous extent. Honestly, if Ram, he bought some oranges the other day, and honest to God, you'd have thought he'd won the lottery and shagged bloody the Spice Girls in height order or something. He was so happy because he'd saved £2 on these bloody oranges. You've never known anything like it. And so when it comes to buying stuff for the restaurant, he'll always want to not buy it or do it himself or buy second hand. He's terrible. He's a bloody nightmare. He'll kick off about the glass washer, but I don't give a hoot. It's ridiculous. We'll just buy it and put it in. That's the only way to get anything in the restaurant. It's like I bought an ice machine for the restaurant with my own money. You remember it. You remember Bob. You remember Bob. Well, I bought original Bob. And then you remember Bob broke, didn't he? After years and years and years of faithful service, Bob broke. And we didn't have an ice machine for ages. And there were no, until I just ordered one. I'd spoken to Ram, and Ram said, yeah, keep your eye out on eBay or Marketplace, and if one comes up at a reasonable price, 60 or 70 pence, then buy it. And in the end, I just found the right ice machine for us, a proper industrial commercial one. I said, Bish, I'm buying this. Give me a card, I'm buying this ice machine. I said, fine. Bish never says no to me. So we finally got our ice machine, and that's the way to get anything that you want in the restaurant, because Ram is a bugger, and yet he'll go out and buy a house without thinking about it. He'll go to a party, and they've got this thing, right? If you go to a Nepali party, then there will be singers and dancers there. Now they come over from Nepal, and they do like a 3-month tour of Europe, and they visit. And they'll visit every Nepali community around Europe in those 3 months, right? And then they'll go back to Nepal for the rest of the 9 months. But there are lots of them who do it. So there's always somebody around in your region at any one time. And you book them for your Monday night community party, and you pay them. You pay them a set fee. You have to pay for their accommodation and their travel and whatnot. And they come along and they do the entertainment at your party. Now, if you've never been to a Nepali party, then let me let you into a secret. They're absolutely terrible. Each and every one that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot, are bloody awful. I've heard better karaokes. They are terrible. And they get paid thousands of pounds. But they've got this thing. When they sing and dance, they wear hats, right? And so when they're at these community parties and they're singing and they're dancing all night long, people put money into their hats. And it would be quite normal. Getting back to Ram again, Ram, who will, if I bought I bought a medium-sized chicken once for the staff curry because they had no small ones. And a small one was something like £3.30 or whatever. And the medium one was £4.49. God, Ram, I thought Ram was going to burst into tears that the staff chicken had cost £1.10 more than normal. I honestly thought he was going to cry. But when he's at a party, he'll put 300 or 400 quid into these hats without turning a hair, without thinking about it. And honest to God, if you want to make money, then be a Nepali singer and a dancer. What they do, it's ridiculous the amount of money that they make. We were talking about it the other night. There's a guy that's related to one of the guys, and he had just done his 3 months European tour thing. And in that 3 months, living high on the land, traveling, being looked after, staying in people's homes or hotels, all expenses paid. In that 3 months, when he went back to Nepal, using the money that he'd earned just in that 3 months, he bought a plot of land and had a house built. He earned the equivalent of about £250,000 in that 3 months for singing really badly. It's ridiculous the amount of money that they earn. Honest to God, I should learn some bloody Nepali songs. I haven't sung professionally for 17 years. No, that's a lie. It was 17 years ago when I sang at my own wedding. But technically, I didn't do that professionally because I didn't pay myself. So I was 36 when I went. So probably 20 years since I've actually literally been paid for opening my gob and warbling. But I would be better than, well, I guarantee I have heard the man who was supposed to be the best singer in Nepal. He was on Britain's Got Talent over here because he lives in the UK now. I'm still better than him now, 20 years not having sung. So I should learn some bloody Nepali songs. The dancing's easy. It's like a combination of, you just go around in a circle, waving your arms like that. And occasionally you do that. Don't ask me why. That is Nepali dancing. And there's no rhyme or rhythm to it. I've got videos. Every Tuesday, I go to the bloody restaurant and Ram will show me videos of the party he was at the night before. And it's always the same. This dreadful music. And then they're dancing around going like that. And then for no reason, not timing in with the music, they all just decide to go. It's absolutely bizarre. Now, there was one occasion long ago when I was at Clay Cross. And we had a party in Clay Cross and I got a little bit drunk and joined in the dancing. I had a whale of a time. I was a bit stiff the next day, mate. It's absolutely hilarious. I've seen videos of the staff party on Monday. A load of people put videos on Facebook. God above, I'm glad I didn't go. I'm glad I didn't go. They hired one of these singing groups. Oh, God. And then they did this. Oh, the dancing. Oh, God, it was horrendous. There's no way I could have, there's absolutely no way I could have kept a straight face if I'd have been there. Oh, dear. Oh, God. Where did I get to in the comments? Oh, about here, wasn't it? Oh, Adrian is with us and says, Merry Christmas to you too. Oh, dear. A champagne flute or coupe, says Peter P. I'd rather a champagne flute than a rusty trombone, says Andrew. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Steve Cog says, my friend had a dishwasher. I fell on the open door drunk while playing darts. Well, these things can happen. I had a dishwasher when I was married. And I kind of had a dishwasher when I was with Lisa, but it was a human one. We had no pair. I can't remember what her name was. I've got a picture of her. I could show you a picture of our au pair. She was rather nice. Romanian. Well, the second one was. The first one was horrible. I was glad when she drank Lisa's champagne and Lisa sent her back to Romania and we got a replacement. The replacement was lovely. Whoa, very nice indeed. Good to be here, says Josh. Lovely to have you. Good afternoon to one and all, he says. Carol asks if I'm feeling better after the caffeine and sugar, and I think I am because I seem to be a bit livelier. I've started gabbling again. I couldn't get a word out of me an hour ago, and now I'm gabbling like there's no tomorrow. Boaty has a nice hat, says Peter P. I do. You should have worn your bucket fishing hat into work then, Boaty. You were asking about the hat. Right, it lives literally just here behind you, on the edge. There it is, look. That's me hat. Well, one of my hats. I have more than one. I love that hat. And it was a true story that I told you. We were in a very nice shop and I fell in love with that hat. I was there with my wife and I said, I'm going to buy this hat. And she said, that's nice, dear. And then she went to the lady on the counter and said, look, I will give you £20 in cash if you refuse to sell my husband that hat. And she said, I can't do that, madam. She said, well, name your price. However much you want not to sell it to him, I will pay you. And she was absolutely mortified when I actually bought that hat and walked out of the shop with it. Yeah, she wasn't a fan of that hat, Mrs. Boaty. I love it. I love it. I need a jacket in a kind of matching tweed. And the thing that, oh, one of you can tell me. Right. Have a look. Now, either side of the hat, no, not either side, just this side, there's that band there. Look, I can put my little wiggler through it. What am I supposed to put in there? Please. Anybody who's a country gentleman should be able to tell me. Or you could Google it, save me doing it. I Googled it, so you didn't have to. Hi, Andrew, says Skickson. Yes, I like Mr. Boaty, but he needs a haircut. I do, don't I? I really, really do. And I planned to get one yesterday, but YouTube didn't pay us. So I'm now planning to get one at some point between now and another point. Either between now and New Year. Well, ideally between now and New Year, because it is getting a little bit unmanageable. Like I said the other night, I'm not going to do my normal thing and completely shave my head on January the 7th. That's what I usually do. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I look scary when I shave my head. Everybody says I look like a right scary thug. You know, sometimes that can work to your advantage, but I don't want to look like a scary thug on YouTube. So yeah, but I could do with a haircut. I'm not growing a ponytail, just like Mustard's. I'm not. I thought it was a mullet a la hubnut. What is an au pair? Asks Adrian. I'm from Romania. And yeah, I guess somebody would answer it. And Andrew has. An au pair is a young person paid to look after posh people's kids. That's kind of true. But to add to that, it's a young person from another country that comes to look after your children. The idea is that that they do it in order to pick up language skills, to experience another country, etc., etc., etc. And you host them, and they look after your kids. So it's like a mutual agreement. You pay them, but you literally only pay them pocket money. We used to, but I can't remember what her name was. Would you like to see a picture? We've got all the time in the world. I need stuff to fill in. I'll tell you what, I will find a picture of our old au pairs for you. Now, I don't have many photographs of the old days. Partly because I didn't take many in the first place, and partly because those I did take haven't survived. But let's have a look through what I've got in here. Oh, there's Milo, my Porsche. Milo the Porsche again. Milo the Porsche again. Oh, with Newcastle in that one. That'll be Lisa's arse. That'll be Lisa in bed. That'll be me and Lisa in bed. Oh, that'll be Lisa naked. Oh, and oh, 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 that's Rob. Blimey. You remember Rob, my best friend and compere that I lost just over a year ago? That was Rob. And that was one of our cabaret setups with Rob and Mel. But no au pairs in that one. Okay. Let's have a look in the other one. I'll catch up with the comments in the meantime. Oh, the hat thing. Emergency sausage holder, fly fishing hooks. Is it for holding cigarettes? I thought he lost all his photos. Most of them. Who took the photo if you were in bed too? Asked Peter P. It was Kirsty, Lisa's daughter, took that one. We weren't naked before your mind start working overtime. £1 per photo? No, you're not getting your hands on these for any money. Well, oh God, I remember this one. It would have to be big money. I remember this one. Now, Lisa wasn't the best cook on God's earth. Well, she didn't try. She didn't even try to be a decent cook. And the au pair used to cook. And I got back from the showrooms one night. I had a long drive to work in those days because we were living in Devon and I was working at the showrooms in Birmingham. So it was quite a long drive to work and back. And I got home one night, quite late-ish, absolutely starving. And the au pair was having a night off and I was starving. And I asked Lisa, this is true, this is genuine. I asked Lisa to make me a meal. I'm not making this up. This is what Lisa made her hard-working fiance after he'd driven 200 miles to work, done a full day at work and driven 200 miles back. That was my dinner. Not making it up. That was it. Hold on. Here we are. Right. This was the original au pair, the horrible one. Talk about grumpy. Anyway, sent her back. And this was the replacement somewhere. God, how fat was I? God above. I was a right old porker back in those days. Look how fat I was. The size of me. Disgraceful. That was the cottage in Devon. Oh yeah, this was a replacement one. Big improvement. I liked that one. She was lovely. Bless her. I do recommend an au pair. I don't know if it works the same way now. When we had ours, you paid their travel expenses, you gave them room and full board. So yeah, they lived in your house, you fed them all of their meals. You had to give them pocket money. I don't know what it would be now. Back in the day, we had to give £40 a week pocket money, and yeah, they look after the kids. But the replacement one, she was just she was just one of the family, you know. So when we went out, like with the original one, then you know, didn't get on very well with her at all. But the replacement one, she just became one of the family. And when we went out as a family, she would always come with us. She was lovely. That's what I love about photos. They bring back so many memories. That's a lot of ham, says Andrew. Perfect sandwich. Do you really need kids to have an au pair? Yeah, you do. They won't give you one if you haven't got kids. Boaty, did you ever have any dealings with a certain Greek gentleman who runs the luxury and sports car dealership in Duffield, Derbyshire? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Greek. I probably did. I don't particularly remember. I'd have dealt with most people in the UK. I would. The banter have dealt with me at some time, so I was the biggest. I enjoyed looking through these photos. I haven't looked at these for a few years. Especially enjoyed the naked ones. Oh God, that was the old flat. Oh, and Mel in that dreadful jumper. Hated that jumper. That was a show. That was a show. That was a show. Oh, Newcastle. Blimey. Bless her. Yeah. Blimey. That's an hour down, darlings. That flew, didn't it? Must be the caffeine. Ben's Bavarian. No, that doesn't ring any bells at all. How's the weather there, asked Adrian? Is there any snow? Amazingly, the weather has been amazing today. It's on the video. It's been beautiful, incredibly mild, blue skies, and I talked on the video saying that that's the way it's been over the last few years. That we have a big old weather event somewhere around the end of November, beginning of December. Christmas is gorgeous, and then January and February goes mad, and we become like the Antarctic. Show us the ones with hubnut, says Digger. I've never met the man, as far as I know. Um, I'm actually, I assume I have met him. We've had this conversation loads of times. Ian was a young motoring journalist in the West Midlands. And I think he was living like about 6 or 7 miles from my showrooms. So, of course, he's going to have been there. He probably interviewed me. He would have covered the auctions and whatnot. So I've probably met him, but you know, back then I used to meet literally thousands of journalists, and I said I can't remember any of them individually, apart from the particularly important ones, and I don't remember any of them. In fact, the only ones I remember from media stuff were the Top Gear boys. I'd never remember Hubnut, and he would have been very different back then. And he wouldn't have been Hubnut back then. He would have been a junior journalist, probably very wet behind the ears. And I would probably have been busy and not said much. Well, actually, I would have said plenty, but I would have said what I wanted to say rather than answering the questions. It's all about advertising, isn't it? I've told you before. We used to do a lot of publicity stunts as well, just to get extra stuff. Like I told you, the famous one was when uh, the snow really came down, so there was no business. So if you can't get business, get publicity, because publicity will lead to business. So we decided that we would close the showrooms and get the Range Rover to tow us, and we would ski to the golf club. So we got a load of journalists out to and media out to film it. We used to do a lot of stuff like that. What else did we do? Oh, I raced Jasper Carrot's Ferrari V12 across Birmingham against the MP on his bicycle. They were trying to. It was a joint publicity stunt, really. Obviously, the idea was to show that if you want to travel across Birmingham, you're quicker doing it on a bicycle than you are doing it in a V12 Ferrari. But it kind of backfired because the MP, who was a bit stoutish, I recall, I battered him. I, I didn't play the game at all, and I I wasn't gonna go along with it being fiddled or anything like that. So I drove like an absolute maniac in this ridiculously expensive Ferrari. So yeah, so I proved that yeah, actually, you're you're better off in a Ferrari. Oh dear. Oh, Simone is here, the lovely hooked on classics. Hello, I'm still ill. I have the flu. Oh no. Oh no, and on Christmas as well. That's you do have rotten luck, Simone. Have you lost any more subscribers, Boaty? Asked Mr. Care. No, the cult finished. The cult finished. I've started clawing a few back. Slow progress because I'm not putting out much content at the moment. I mean, it was a hell of a cult. A hell of a cult. To all intents and purposes, 500 subscribers gone in one fell swoop, 500. You think about it. You think how many YouTubers there are who are desperately trying to claw their way towards 500 to get that initial level of monetization. You know, many amongst us, John Stoodley, Matron, the M11, and I'm sure many others trying to get towards 500. Imagine losing 500 in the space of 9 hours. Oh, but yeah, no, the coal has finished. The number's going up, but it's going to be a while before it gets to where it was before the coal. I was getting ready to celebrate hitting 7,000. That's going to be a while away now. But I'm confident that when the Airbnb stuff kicks in, I genuinely think that if I do it right, if I do the content right, I think that might do really well and that might really boost the channel. I hope so anyway. I hope so. I'll enjoy it anyway and it'll be fun for us. But I am hoping that it does some numbers and makes a few quid and advertises the Airbnb. I was talking to some locals about the Airbnb today, you know, because they're in for Christmas Day. Now, some of the customers you don't know at all, some you don't know very well, and with those you give a level of service that is professional and friendly. I always aim for, we're a fine dining restaurant, but I know that a lot of people struggle. If they're not accustomed to fine dining, then I know that they struggle with some aspects of it because they feel, you know, overwhelmed or out of place, and that means that they don't really enjoy it. They're too worried about the correct etiquette for this or how to pronounce that or whatnot. So I aim to combine fine dining, but with a friendly, approachable kind of atmosphere. But yeah, but there are some customers that, you know, they're just friends. They're just friends, and you know, they're going to get great food and they're going to get great service. But you're pals, and you just have a chat with them, and you catch up, and you have a laugh. But I was telling a few of them. Well, I was telling them because they asked me about the Airbnb and how things are going. And they all kind of said the same thing. Well, when it's done, we've decided we're going to have a launch party, because they were asking me when I'm going to put another night on where we make staff food available to customers. And I've decided the next one we do is going to be a Tali night. Now, Tali is a bit like the Spanish idea of tapas, whereby you have a sort of assiette, an assortment of whatnots. It's a thing in Nepal as well, and it's called Thali. And that would work really well for a staff food night, because if people don't like one bit or two bits or three bits of it, there'll be plenty more for them to go at. And I'm going to do that as a launch party for the Sherpa's Lodge. But they're all saying that as well as all of the digital promotion and marketing stuff, print out some flyers and things, and they'll put them up around their companies and where they work and whatnot. There's one who their company, the company they work for, it's not their company. The company they work for has has places all over the UK. And they have regular meetings here at the head office. And exactly what I'm after, they put their people up at the Premier Inn. So she said, give me as many as those as you care to. I'll get you some custom. So there we are. The Airbnb content plus a pogo stick, says Peter P. Right, hang on. The pogo stick is nothing to do with me. If I remember correctly, didn't the pogo stick thing come up on one of Emma's live streams? I'm sure it did. I've got no knowledge of, and I certainly haven't consented to anything to do with the pogo stick. I can't remember exactly what it involved. I'm sure it was on an Emma live stream, and I'm sure I wasn't there. Richard says, not all Airbnbs have the Joseph Lloyd Lounge, exactly, with luxurious beige leather sofas and matching walnut veneer side tables. Exactly. Boaty, give Jay, May and Jeremy a run for their money. I'll try. Boaty is definitely the OG. What's OG? Help me out. I don't know what that means. OG. Own goal? Oh, it's 10:20, darlings. Before you know it, could be. Before you know it, it's going to be wine o'clock. How excited am I about that beautiful wine from Sean? Where is Sean, actually? Oh, bless him. He's probably exhausted after his live stream. Original gangster, old geezer. Oh, apparently it's original gangster. Oh, there we are. I was never a gangster. I had to do business with gangsters. Some of them were really, really scary people. Really scary people. I remember once somebody that I had done business with. Oh, how much can I say about this? Somebody I'd done some business with must have upset the wrong people. And word got out that he or she had sort of gone underground, disappeared a bit, but was being looked for. And one evening, I think I was in the showrooms on my own. I think there was only me in the showrooms, and I had Sergeant Trend round in the auction hall. And these two guys came in. Now, I'm a big lad. I'm 6'5". I used to be pretty solid with it as well. I'm an old man now, but I used to be pretty solid. Two guys walked in, and they were wearing like orange jumpsuits. Like, I don't want it to sound like an all-in-one baby grow thing, but they were in matching orange things, and they were huge. They were like they were like Tyson Fury or something. I felt 6'5", and I would have been, well, I don't know, probably 16, 17 stone back then. And they walked in and they were massive and they were incredibly intimidating. And I thought, aye. And it was very obvious what they were. You know, they were very obviously not just two people, not just, you know, they were deliberately intimidatory. And I thought, oh, right, okay. And I'm desperately thinking, you know, what have I done? Who have I upset? What's happening here? And they said, we're looking for blah, blah, blah. And that, I thought, well, my initial thought, if I recall, was, oh, thank God, thank God. And I said, lads, not a clue. I've heard he's gone to ground, not a clue. We understand you do business with him. And I said, I used to do business with him. I haven't seen him for a while, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, cut a long story short, cut out any jeopardy. That was it. They went and I never saw them again. And I was very grateful that, because I just remember thinking, imagine they didn't believe you, or you gave the wrong answer, or they knew that you knew and their job was to get it out of you. They were terrifying. I'm not, you know, I don't get frightened easily, but they were seriously terrifying. Oh, God, it was like being in that. It was like being in the loos again, in that mafia nightclub in Ukraine. It was that kind of feeling, except that there was no way out of the loo, and I didn't get hurt. I didn't get hurt that time. Hello, hat wearers, says Project Nigel. Dear old Captain Mustard. Paul Muggy Birch is with us, evening Boaty in the community. Hope everyone is well. Captain Atstan, says Peter B. Hello, Captain Mustard, darling, says Andrew. Captain catches the bird's eye. Steakholg is wearing a hat. Good evening, all, says Bad Books. Oh, everybody's turning up now. We can have a proper party, can't we? And in 33 minutes, not that I'm counting, I can open that amazing wine from the lovely Sean. Not the kind of chaps you would like to run in a dark back alley. I was in a brightly lit showrooms, and I didn't want to run into them in there. They were properly scary. They didn't say or do anything overtly scary or anything. They were just inherently scary. And I just remember being really glad that that I had nothing to hide, because as it happened, I hadn't seen this person for months and months and months anyway, and didn't have a clue what was going on. Never found out what happened. All I know is that there was a bit of stuff in the media about it all. And the place that he lived, which was an incredible place, turned out that it was rented and it was reclaimed by the owners. It was a mansion, you know, it was literally a mansion. And there was actually a sign was put up on the big old electric gate saying, so-and-so does not live here anymore. And there was quite a bit of stuff in the media about it. And as far as I know, I certainly never heard from or of him again. So God knows what happened there. It's kind of the scary side of life, the side of life that you don't want to get too involved in, where people literally do disappear. Yeah, don't get involved in that. Steakhog is wearing a bobble hat. It's Christmas. The flowers could go the journey. They don't owe you anything. What does that mean, Carol C? Go the journey. What, you mean I should get rid of them? They are dropping petals. Look at this. Oh, they're not going to drop. Oh, okay. They were dropping petals earlier. I don't know, says Andrew. They may have looked big and scary, but scratch the surface and they were mostly harmless. Right. I think that might be a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. Yeah, the entrance for Earth in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was harmless until obviously Ford Prefect was sent to do an update, and he updated the description of Earth to mostly harmless. I was wearing a red Santa hat and a flashing necklace of Christmas tree lights for most of the day, says Carol. Oh, how very festive of you, Carol. I shall finish this water, and then it will be nil by mouth until it's wine time, and I'm really going to enjoy wine time. Hi, I've drank a crate and I'm pissed, says Tomo. Good evening, Tomo. Are any of the rest of you a bit pissed? A bit tipsy? A tad trolleyed? Or am I maybe I'm the only sober one here? Look at me drinking water. Coffee, water. I mean, don't worry, I'll catch you up at 11 o'clock. That bottle of wine isn't going to touch the sides. Mr. Care's on the way. Matron must be by now, says Peter P. Go on, Matron. On the trolleyed scale, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Oh. Oh, excuse me. I'm absolutely trashed, mate. It's taken me a while to type. Oh, well, good on you, Tommy. It only comes around once a year, doesn't it? What are you all doing tomorrow, darlings? What are you all doing on Boxing Day? Carol C is tipsy, but the alcohol has been interspersed throughout the day. Very sensible. I'm not leaving the cottage tomorrow until it's time to go to work. Like I said, I'm going to have a bit of a Christmas lunch type thing. I might go mad and have a glass of lunch. I might go mad and have a glass of wine while I'm preparing the meal. Not often I have a glass of wine during the day. In fact, it's incredibly seldom. But yeah, I might go mad tomorrow. Just salad tomorrow for Peter P. Tomo's probably going to be sleeping all day with a hangover. Leftovers and more booze, says Mr. Care. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Doesn't feel like Christmas on a Wednesday, says Steve. Well, if you've done it properly, you forget what day it is. It doesn't matter that it's Wednesday, does it? It's just Christmas. But there we are. There we are. Oh, if I had the energy, I'd get up and go to Matlock Bath and go to the raft racing. I used to love doing that on Boxing Day morning. I really did. That was a tradition for years. And then it didn't happen for a while after the divorce. I never went on my own. But then, of course, we moved to Matlock Bath, so then it was just down the road, wasn't it? Well, of course, they actually went past our house, our cottage. Oh, right. Carol C has been imbibing in no particular order. Champagne, red wine, dessert wine, a gin and tonic, and a martini espresso. Tomo will be having turkey and stuffy sarnies from today. Brilliant. Then there's the Boxing Day hunt, which I shan't be attending, says Mr. Care. Gosh, the Boxing Day hunt. Blimey. That's very county, isn't it? Oh, dear. Oh, I could do with having to tidy up. Oh, did I put my... Oh, I did. I did put the glass in the fridge. I'm a good boy. Let's get some washing up a bit near the sink, shall we? Oh, and these can go away. Actually, maybe I should actually do a bit of washing up. Get a bit of washing up done before before 1 o'clock. That was just reminded me. I'm just going to watch this again. I've just remembered that something has been in this wine glass that shouldn't be in a wine glass, and I only gave it a rinse. So I'm going to give it a proper wash with washing up liquid and everything. Make sure it's properly clean. God, I didn't want to do any more washing up today. I've already done more than my fair share. Might as well put it all into soap, might I? There we go, that's that. Now, very fortunately, I did do what I said I intended to this morning. I had a very tiny cooked breakfast before I went to work. And given I didn't have lunch until 8 o'clock, thank God I did. Otherwise, I really would have struggled to get through the day. Didn't have much. I had 2 sausages, 2 hashed browns, a fried egg, a tiny amount of baked beans that I had left over in the fridge, literally like 2 spoonfuls, and half a tomato and some HP sauce. I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than a full job. I might do that more often. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't. It's not very healthy, is it? But it was nice. I did enjoy it. And not all that much effort either. Not a massive amount of washing up. Did it all in one pan. Oh, right, we're talking about fox hunt, says Thomas. Carol C, tomorrow we'll walk in the countryside and find a play park for the kiddies. It's big around here, the Boxing Day hunt, says Mr. Kerr. Bad books, cook Christmas dinner and help prep Christmas tea. Thought the central heating boiler had gone the journey, but you said the same thing as Carol C, gone the journey. Does that mean end of life? So is that what Carol C was saying about the flowers, that they've had it and I should just get rid of that? Oh, here we are. Here we are, the voice from the valleys. Good evening.
Happy Christmas.
How are you, mate? You had a good day?
I'm stuffed.
Good, man.
I'm just going to have another cup of tea now to wash it all down.
Very sensible.
And then we start with the turkey sandwiches tomorrow.
How many weeks
How was the restaurant?
Oh,
was it busy?
Jesus, yeah, it's horrendous. It was a really good service. It was the smoothest Christmas Day service we've ever had. But because it was the smoothest, it was also the hardest one we've ever had. It was horrendously hard. We all looked like as if we'd been through a minor war. We had lunch ready for 2 o'clock, our own staff lunch, and we sat down and ate it at 8 p.m. That was the first chance that we got.
Do you play the King's Speech there?
No.
And is it open tomorrow, or do you have the day off?
No, open tomorrow. Open tomorrow. It's yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but you know, the money that you make on Christmas Day is the money that gets you through. Like
January, is it? Yeah.
January is not too bad. It'll get you through one of the quiet months in the summer when everybody's on holiday or something like that. Because it's such a profitable day, Christmas Day. So you have to do it, but you know, it's great for the business's bank balance and the partner's bank balance, but you know, for the poor sods who are just grafting, then it's a really hard day at the coalface. And because Christmas isn't a thing for Hindus, then there's none of this double pay nonsense or Christmas bonus nonsense or anything like that. It's the toughest day of your working year, and you don't even get anything extra to see for it.
Well, I'm about to have a cup of gravy with a cup of mint sauce, all mixed up together with lashings of bread and butter dipped in it.
You're a bloody animal.
So that's what I will be eating as I watch the rest of the show.
What time did you have lunch?
1 o'clock.
Oh, that's
And I'm
quite good, right?
stuffed.
And you're still stuffed.
Yes, I'm stuffed. Well, I've just eaten a Terry's chocolate orange.
Not a whole one.
Yes.
Oh God, have you really?
And a Christmas pudding with plenty of not gravy. What do they call it?
Custard. Right.
And now I'm about to finish off half a bottle of champagne.
I was going to ask you about the booze.
Yes, I'm going to finish it off now. So I just thought I'd phone in and say Happy New Year.
Oh, and a Merry Christmas to you, mate. Good to hear your voice. Ah, the lovely Sean there. Bless him. He doesn't mess about, does he? Not a whole chocolate orange. Yep. Oh dear. Where were we? It's a vodka chilling us, Peter Pete. No, the vodka isn't chilling, Peter Pete. But I will give you, you've already had one glimpse of what lies ahead. This is what is chilling, and this is what I'm very excited about. This is going to be the best bottle of wine that I have drunk for a long, long time. Courtesy of the lovely Sean. I've been saving it for, how long? About 5 months, something like that. And I am very, very excited about pouring it down my little red lane. Right, the wine glass has been properly washed, so that will go back in there to chill. Yeah, prepare yourselves for quite a winegasm tonight, darlings. It might last, well, when I open the bottle of wine at 11 o'clock, the winegasm might last right through until midnight. You might not hear another word from me other than, ooh, or something like that. Now we are debating fox hunting. Steve Hogg says it's called Boxing Day because the rich used to give the poor boxes of leftovers. Is that true? I didn't know that. I thought fox hunting was banned in the UK, says Andrew. And Mr. K says scent trailing. Yeah, it's a less cruel form of hunting, apparently. And there are probably some strong opinions about fox hunting. I think what we have to remember is it's something that was of its time. There's a lot that we used to do and used to be acceptable, and it is less acceptable these days. Remember this. It's not that many years ago, within living memory for many, many people, that we used to imprison and potentially castrate homosexual men. That's not in the third world. That's not in Arabia. That's here in the good old Christian United Kingdom. And it's not that long ago. Now, obviously, you tell the current generation that, and if they hadn't seen it on telly or on YouTube, they would struggle to believe it. But just don't be overly surprised that in society now, there are still throwbacks to things that now we think would be horrendous, like fox hunting. But, it's not that long ago till they were the norm. We had the death penalty up until, oh God, somebody fill in the gap. I can't remember off the top of my head uh, when it was, but yeah, we were still stringing people up not all that long ago. Um, Now, the idea, to me at least, seems abominable. I mean, I know that lots of you would be in favour of the death sentence for certain elements of criminality. We don't need to. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'd string them up. But it's ironic that the the death sentence was a thing when science was nothing like it is now. And I dread to think how many appalling miscarriages of justice there were, and how many innocent people were sent to the gallows to do the Tyburn jig, as it was called. So fox hunting is one of those things. Um, you know, Society moves on, doesn't it? And you can't really compare one time with another. So I would never knock somebody who comes from the tradition of hunting if they're of a certain age, because it was okay, it was acceptable back then. Um, you would some of the practices with fox hunting used to be terrible. Somebody new to the hunt would get the fox's blood smeared on their face and all of that sort of thing. But it was just a different time. It was a different time. Um, and yeah, now they do it as scent trailing. So the idea is that you get the thrill of the hunt, um, but without the cruelty to the fox. Now, the fox is one of God's creatures. It's true, and I generally can't abide cruelty to animals. I don't have any particular fondness towards foxes, to be honest, because they are by nature horrible little buggers. A fox came in back when I was married, got into the rabbits in the garden, and they kill for fun. They don't just kill for food; they kill for fun. Stuff that they can't take, that they can't carry, they will kill anyway. They did with our rabbits, and I remember I used to take my dog Laddie, our dog Laddie. He used to go for a midnight walk. I always took him for a midnight walk every night without fail. And there were obviously local foxes, and lads used to go after them. And I never stopped him because I thought, well, all right, foxes, you want to live by the sword, fair enough. Come and take the rabbits. It's your nature. Well, it's my dog's nature to try and take you. And so live by the sword, die by the sword. He never caught one. he, he never caught one, but he always tried, bless him. So there you go. Maybe that was a form of fox hunting. The last executions in the UK were by hanging. This is from Sean, and took place in 1964. It's not that long ago. Capital punishment for murder was suspended in 65 and finally abolished in 69, 1973 in Northern Ireland. It's not that long ago. It's not that long ago. So it was abolished in 69. I was born in 71. So it's almost within my lifetime. Lots of things seem weird now. What about smoking in pubs? Anybody of my age or older, or possibly a bit younger, well, definitely a bit younger, you will remember going into a pub or restaurant and it was like walking into a thing of fog. The atmosphere was that heavy with cigarette smoke and or cigar smoke. And of course, it was perfectly normal at the time. Um, People would be horrified by that now, including, weirdly enough, people who smoke. I don't know how we used to stand it, smokers and non-smokers. There's, I don't know if it's still there now, but I'm sure I'm trying to remember which airport it was. I think it was Birmingham Airport, and Birmingham Airport used to have a smoking area within the terminal. I'm sure I'm right in this. I'm sure I'm right in this. And but it was actually a room. It was a biggish room, but a room, an enclosed room. And I remember going in there for a fag after I think I'd flown back to I think I was either flying out to Africa or I'd flown back to Africa. It was when I was living there, but coming back to the UK quite regularly. And I remember walking into this room. I got hit by a wall of cigarette smoke and I just walked straight back out. I'm not enduring that atmosphere. It was horrendous. Now, other airports, thankfully, are a bit more civilized. East Midlands Airport, for example, has got a nice smoking open air cage with a trough all the way around, which is a continual ashtray. Mind you, that's pretty bloody awful. That is awful. And East Midlands Airport, I don't know why, it seems to have a greater preponderance of people with a propensity to wear tracksuits and go on package holidays, and and they tend to be in the smoking bit, and they're enough to put you off as well. Yeah, I have walked out of there before now, so I couldn't bear to listen to them any longer. Drunken swine. Whereas Malta, um, Lua, which is probably my favourite airport in the world, that's wonderfully civilized, absolutely wonderfully civilized. There's a beautiful area there outside the cafeteria, which is spotlessly clean, and there's beautiful food and beautiful drinks and a lovely view of the runway. And that's your smoking area where you can sit and relax and have a fag. And it's absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. But that was an interesting little aside, wasn't it? Or maybe it wasn't interesting at all. Two sides of the same coin, really. Now, Boxing Day is known for the sales in the shop, says Andrew. Yeah. Hubnut spent over 300 sovs on the Belingo. What, buying it? He spent a lot more on it since that. uh, is Sean pissed? Nobody will be. He will be by the time he gets, by the time the tea has gone down, the gravy and mint sauce mix. God. He's coming to stay with me. I'm going to have to be very careful what I cook for Sean when he comes here. Because if I cook Sean beautifully rare, fragrant roast beef and the bugger puts mint sauce on it, his arse is going out the door. Arse first. I'd better. What food is mint sauce proof? I mean, I could just not have mint sauce in the cottage, but you know what he's like. He'll bring his own. Could you imagine giving him Momo and he drenches them in bloody mint sauce? I think what we'll do when Sean comes to stay, I think we'll frisk him at the door before we let him in. We'll pat him down, and we'll make him abandon all of his mint sauce, which will be hidden in various places, no doubt. And we'll make sure that it's all left outside or in the car, and he can have it when he goes. Because the only thing that you should eat mint sauce with is lamb. And I don't eat lamb here. I won't do it. I had this conversation with a vegan friend, and I said I'm the worst type of carnivore because I am an utter hypocrite. Now, I refuse to eat lamb because there are lambs gamboling in spring. They're the first thing I see when I open my eyes on a spring morning. They're in my field. I open my eyes, the curtains are always open in the bedroom. I see lambs, therefore, I do not eat lamb. But I'm perfectly happy to eat cows or chickens or anything because they're not in my field. Well, that to me, that makes me the ultimate hypocrite. I mean, I did try saying it was the farmer's fault for just putting lamb in the field, and that if we put a whole mixed grill in the field, I probably would be vegan. Um, but no, she said, in fairness, I was exactly the same. Before I became vegan, I wouldn't eat lamb for exactly the same reason. And she said, what really did it for me was going to live on a small holding where we were supposed to be self-sufficient, and we raised our own animals for our own consumption. And so that was when I turned vegan because they all just became pets. I couldn't bloody kill them. So maybe that's the answer. Uh, if you think that eating meat is bad for the world or bad for us or bad for anything, then maybe we should all start doing the good life and keeping our own animals. It might make you stop and think if you actually had to wring your chicken's neck if you wanted chicken and chips. Right, that's the water gone. The next thing that passes my lips will be French, incredibly expensive and utterly wonderful. And I can't wait. So let's catch up with the comments. God, we're almost 2 hours in and the time has flown. I thought it was going to drag tonight because I was knackered. I'm feeling grand now. I could go back and do another 8-hour service. I couldn't. I couldn't. Don't make me do it. Ridiculous amount of money on that car. Are we talking about a hub nuts thing? I thought he spent £1,000 on it, not 300 quid. My head is spinning, says Tomo. Time for me to crash out. Good night, everyone. Take care. Good night, Tomo. Enjoy your hangover. Hope you survive. Bless him. Oh, yeah. Gavin and Stacey was brilliant, says Jimmy Quinn. No spoilers. Thank you. Easy, Jimmy. Most of us have taped it. No spoilers, please, says Mr. Care. No spoilers, says Carol C. Saving it for later. Jimmy's joking, says Steve, and he is indeed. Good evening, Jimmy Quinn. Lovely to have you with us. My sister-in-law's dachshund, says Bad Books, ate a whole chocolate orange on Boxing Day. I was the only one sober enough to rush it to the emergency vet. £500 later, all sorted. I'm still waiting for the money. Tracy Cardiff is here after watching Gavin and Stacey. No spoilers. Also, a few of you did watch it. Okay, no spoilers, but tell us what one. No, I was going to say, tell us whether it was slightly disappointing or amazing, but don't even tell us that. No, we want a surprise. We want to know if the fishing trip conundrum ever gets solved. We want to know whether Smithy marries Nessa, but don't tell us anything. We'll have the pleasure of watching it. And now I might have to watch it tonight. Now I might have to watch it after the live stream. What do you reckon? We'll see how I go after the wine. The wine will probably give me either a full new lease of life, and I'll be good to stay up until 2 a.m. and watch Gavin and Stacey and eat my momo and go to bed pished and happy and full of Gavin and Stacey, or the wine will just knock me out and I probably won't eat at all. I'll fall asleep here at the table or just wobble up to bed. We might not be here if it wasn't for Alan Turing. Well, yeah, and look what we did to him. Look what we did to him. Outrageous. Outrageous. We had a massive problem here with greyhound racing, says Andrew, and he means in Australia. Some trainers were using live rabbits for lures. Utter bar stewards. Even Adolf banned hunting, says Steve. Well, I think fox hunters were vile, full stop, says Tracy. That is what people forget, says Josh. People are an evolving species. What is acceptable in one time is not in another. Wasn't Ruth Ellis the last person to be hung, asked Mr. Care? I don't think she was. I think she was the last woman. Yeah, I think she, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, Tracy Cardiff says last woman. Pully Galtieri says, I can remember smoking aloud in McDonald's. I can remember the ashtrays, those little disposable foil ashtrays. 1967 was the last hanging here in Australia, says Andrew. Ronald Ryan. I used to get a terrible throat, says Tracy, and thought it was from singing. It was from the smoke. Oh, Emma is here, the M11. Hello all. Hope everybody's Christmas days have been peaceful. Just finished watching Gavin and Stacey here. Boaty still smokes in McDonald's in the toilet. I do not. That's a terrible fib. Oh, what's this I've got here? The last people to be hanged in the United Kingdom, well, in Great Britain, sorry, were Peter Allen and Gwyn Evans on the 15th of August, 1964. Thank you, Sean. Oh. Odd time for the bank to be texting me, but there you are. Thank you for that reminder that I'm poor. Tricia Alderman is with us. Oh, God, everybody's coming in now that Gavin and Stacey's finished. Good evening, Boaty and honourable community. We hope everyone has had a good day. That's from Tricia and Paul. Am I miles behind on the comments now? Because I was bang up to date, but if everybody's suddenly come in from Gavin and Stacey. Does Mustard smoke roll-ups? No, he doesn't smoke at all anymore. Skick has been watching Battle of Britain. Everybody's saying hello to Emma. Dan Blacksmith is currently listening in bed now after a great day and a few largers. Larger than what? Oh, Skick, love Battle of Britain. Repeat, please. People are saying hello. Oh, that's the latest repair bill. He's only just spent £1,000 and now he spent another 300. That must be the most valuable bloody whatever it is. What is it? Belingo, innit? Sean likes sausages, says Carol C. Sean can have all of the mint sauce and Yorkshire tea he wants, says Richard. Not in this house, he can't. I'm not having that man put mint sauce on my beef. I'm not having it. I'm not standing for it. The mint sauce will be left outside and the door will be locked. Outrageous. Did Mr. Paddy have chips? Asked Trader Carter. We don't know. We haven't heard from Mr. Paddy tonight. We are unaware of his Christmas food situation. Has he managed to go a full day without chips? He'll have had a posh coffee. Of course he will. But yeah, there is no information on the food served in the Leisure Peninsula. Is the Pope Catholic? We've not heard from Mr. Paddy, says Carol C. Tracy had mint sauce. Mr. Stephen Paddy from the Leisure Peninsula must be pissed. Oh, Simone, oh, bless you. Boaty, as I've been sick over the festive period, when I'm well, I'm going to go out and treat myself to a slap-up dinner. Good on you, Simone. I'm going to have a jolly good lunch tomorrow, and then I'm going to treat myself to a dinner out the night before my birthday eve. I'm going to find a nice place in Llandudno and I'm going to treat myself to a jolly good dinner. None of this heating curry up in my hotel room. Oh, no. Richard says, chips, roast potatoes. I can't do Mr. Stephen Paddy. Chips, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, hash browns and potato waffles, sir. I'll have chips tomorrow with pickles, says Tracy. No chicken choking on my watch, says Mystic Hair. 3 minutes till 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, says Peter P. I would miss the cheese too much to be vegan, says Tracy. Vegan cheese is okay, cooked but not in a sandwich. Tidy, says Who Cares. Stephen Paddy is Santa Claus, he's busy. It could be. Right. Caught up with the comments. It's wine time. And I almost don't want to do it. I'm so excited about this that I almost don't want to do it. But I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to. Here we go, darlings. Right. First of all, the chilled glass. And then we carefully take the beautiful Cellier du Volva, Louis Jadot. Oh, look at this. Will that be okay for you, sir? It most certainly will. Here we go, darlings. Oh, please don't let me spill any or drop the thing and break it. Now, oddly enough, now this would have been a huge no-no back in the day. Now, you remember last night, the Petit Chablis, which is a lower grade of wine than this, that I had last night, had a cork. This has got a screw top. Now, this is something else that has changed with time. You know, a screw top used to be a massive no-no. And I can remember the moment when screw tops became okay. And it was Celebrity Come Dine With Me. And it was the one that Biggins was in. And Christopher Biggins won it by cheating. He had all of his food cooked for him. And he presented it as if he'd cooked it. He cheated blind, but he's so much fun that that he won anyway, and nobody cared that he cheated. But the first night in that series, he was, because he's of a certain generation, he was served wine, and he kind of jokingly took umbrage because it was served with a screw cap, and that dead fit woman whose name I can't remember. Is it Julia Bradbury? Does the walkie-talkie things, the walking stuff. She said, no, Biggins, screw tops are okay now. Screw tops are fine. They're not a massive social no-no. And I hadn't realized that. So I thought, oh, I didn't know screw tops are okay. If I went to a dinner party and somebody served me wine from a bottle with a screw top, then, I would have cut them out. I'd have sent them to Coventry. They would never have been invited for a reciprocal dinner party at my place, and I would have refused that wine and insisted on another one. And there must have been a lot of other people as well. And that I remember it. I remember it as if it was yesterday. That was the moment where you could no longer judge a wine as to whether it had a screw cap. And the point was that yesterday's lower grade wine had a cork. This much more higher grade, more expensive wine has got a screw top. And yet, I'm sure, oh, just drink it, says Steak Hug. No, I'm going to relish this. It could be a long, long time. Hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it'll only be a month or two, because the Airbnb will do wonderful things. But or YouTube will do wonderful things, or they'll both do wonderful things. But it could be a long, long time till I get my hands on another bottle like this. Okay, here goes. I'm going in. Cheers, your very good health. Bottoms up yours, and above all, get stuffed. I don't want to do it. That is honestly so good that you honestly have to just close your eyes and just live in that Chablis moment. God, that's amazing. And like last night's wine, it's a slow burn. Now with the cheaper wine, it's an immediate hit. It kind of assaults the palate, and then you get that immediate burning its way down, the fire spreading in the bread basket, the winegasm thing. Like last night, this is a really, really slow burn. It caresses the palate. It lingers. And the sensation, it's growing all the time. It's not that immediate hit. Oh, now it's becoming really intense just here. And now it's spreading out there. I'm not making any of this up. I promise you, this is, Thank you, Sean. That is utterly, utterly sublime. You know what? Even when I had money and could have easily drunk this every night, I didn't, because I wanted it to be something special. I would have a Chablis. That would be my Sunday wine, not my daily wine. And then, like for Christmas and my birthday, I would have something really super duper duper special. I might have something really super duper duper special on my birthday night. My birthday night, my actual birthday night, is going to be a Tuesday night, Tuesday the 14th. So I'm going to be here with you. It'll be a Tuesday night live. And I might lay in something not like this, but something a little bit nicer than normal for my birthday night. The night before, I'm in Llandudno, so so there won't be anything amazing in the way of wine that night. So I'm planning to eat out. And God knows I can't afford this wine from a supermarket. I certainly can't afford it from a restaurant by the time they've put their whack on top of it. I mean, a bottle like this would be 120 quid in a restaurant. Oh, that is so nice. No, so the night before will be, I don't know, probably water in the restaurant, maybe one glass of wine and some water. Or if I end up somewhere like Harvey's, I'll have a beer. Sod it, I'll have a beer. And then back in the hotel room for the pre-birthday live, which will go into my birthday because we'll go after midnight, of course. Then it'll be standard hotel room, vodka and tonic. Oh, and if you're interested, and I'm sure you're not, the reason I go to vodka and tonic in the hotel room is because the kind of hotels that I stay at these days, there's no wine chilling facilities, there's no minibar, there's no fridge in your room. Now, when I was in Malta or anywhere else or in a decent hotel, it's not a problem. You take a bottle of, you get your bottle of wine, you put it in the fridge. But in a cheap hotel, it's it's difficult to chill your wine. I mean, you could kind of make, if you can be asked, then you can use the sink in the bathroom and put ice in it and and effectively make an ice bucket for your wine to go in. But I quite like, I don't drink vodka regularly anymore because I got rather too fond of it and it's too easy to drink too much of it. But I quite like it now and then as a bit of a treat. And the great thing with vodka and tonic is that if you're in a cheap hotel, you can just buy a bag of ice from the local supermarket, and it'll last. It lasts long enough that you've got all the ice that you need for your drinks that evening. Or if you're in a better hotel that's got a decent bar, you can just ask for an ice bucket, and that makes life nice and easy. You can have a well-iced vodka and tonic. And that is what I will be doing on Monday the 13th, when I come to you for Monday Night live from the Grand Hotel in Llandudno. Live, about to become another year older, and no doubt slightly merry and hopefully full of a nice dinner somewhere. It'll be nice to go out. The last time I went out to eat was, it would have been back in Llandudno with Emma in Harvest. Oh, this is a treat. Now it really does feel like Christmas. Actually, it doesn't. It hasn't. Oh, it does. It does. I was going to say it hasn't felt like Christmas Day, but it has. Because, of course, I might have been at work, but I've still been surrounded by people who are celebrating Christmas. Do you know what really disappointed me this year? Genuinely. Not one Christmas jumper in the restaurant. Not one. Not one. What happened to the good old days when Christmas Day you wore your Christmas jumper? I was really disappointed by that. Now, we've had Christmas jumpers in during the run-up to Christmas. We had loads of Christmas parties where they all came in Christmas jumpers. It was the dress code for the party. And we had an argument. The firemen came in. They're my favourites. One of my favourites, anyway. The firemen come in once a month for their food and piss up and all of that. And they came in for their Christmas do, and they were all wearing Christmas jumpers. And they were arguing as we came in. And I ended up being the judge because the leader chap, whatever you call him, they were arguing. He was saying that he was wearing a Christmas jumper, and they were all saying that, no, you're not. That's just a normal jumper with a pattern on it. And he's saying, well, that's what a Christmas jumper is. It doesn't have to have a bloody great Santa Claus on it. It just has to be gaudy and bright. That's what a Christmas jumper really is. And they're saying, but that's not gaudy and bright. That's just a normal jumper with a bit of colour on it. And they were arguing the toss. So I was to be the ultimate arbiter. And so they're saying, right, Jason will decide. Is that or is that not a Christmas jumper? And the chap said, I agree to him deciding, but can I just remind you, Jason, that I book these dues and Shapler is just 10 yards or whatever it is down the road back there. And they said that this is a Christmas jumper. Just saying, I said, it's a Christmas jumper. Sit down, I'll get the drinks. Oh dear. Denise 7 is with us, which is lovely. Happy Christmas, Mr. Boaty. Thank you, and to you too. Hope you've had a good end to the year, and wishing you a magical 2025 with good news, happy events, and all the luck in the world. That's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am confident that it's going to be an amazing year ahead. If nothing else changes, if nothing else comes to fruition, if nothing else works, then I'll have survived the winter and I'll have another year in the bosom of you amazing people. And that is good enough for me, to be honest. That's good enough to make it a year to look forward to. My back is killing me now. The wine will help. Once I get halfway down that wine bottle, I guarantee you I'll be feeling no pain. But thank you, Denise, and thank you for popping in with your wonderful wishes. Oh, the High Priestess is with us. Evening, everyone. Good evening to you. That's going to be delicious, says Mr. Care. And oh my God, it so is. I don't want, you know what I'm like? I normally, it's late. It's gone 11 o'clock. I'm a bit of a glugger with the old wine, aren't I? I can't do it with this. This is too good. This has to be really, really savoured. It's absolutely lovely. Would I recommend it? God, yeah. I mean, it was a gift. I've got no idea how expensive it is, but it's a really good wine. You can, oh, those of you who enjoy wine and know a little bit about it, even if you don't know about it in terms of the correct terms to use or the correct things to say, talking about the legs and the nose. Who knew that wine has legs and a nose? Well, actually, white wine doesn't have legs, does it? That's a red wine thing. And a bouquet and all of that pretentious twaddle. But you will know, many of you, in fact, any of you who drink wine and have had the opportunity to drink something that is not, splosh, you'll know the difference between, you'll know the difference between, something that's real quality. You might not be able to put it into words, but you'll know what I'm talking about. And you can't rush it. It's like, if you jump into a normal car, then you just want to take off and see what it drives like. If you jump into a hot hatch or something, then you'll jump in and think, right, let's experience performance. When you jump into a Rolls Royce, you want to slow down and you want to enjoy the experience and take it all in and soak in the opulence and the ambience. Well, that's what it's like when you get a really good wine. You don't want to rush it. You absolutely don't want to rush it. You want to savor it. You want to make the moments last. And the wine helps you do that because, as I say, it's a slow burn. It's not like a cheap wine will hit you and then bugger off and say you want the next hit. A really good wine will linger. It'll linger on the palate. It'll linger in the bread basket. It'll linger in the wine receptors around here and down there and down your arm. Sometimes it feels like you're having a heart attack when it lingers down your left arm. And you think, oh God, this is it. This is it. I hope I'm wearing clean underwear. And I hope I don't shit myself when it gets really bad. Oh, this is nice. I'm going to really calm down now and just enjoy. I'm going to enjoy the last 40 minutes of our Christmas day together. I'm so happy to be sharing it with you. I've been looking forward to tonight. They think I'm mad at work. They think that I'm absolutely mad. We were talking about what we're going to do when we go home. And they think that it's an act of clinical lunacy to, after a day like today, to get home and within 10 minutes to be sitting live streaming. But, they don't understand. It's what do you want when you've had maybe you want to be on your own, but a lot of the time when you've had a hard day or an interesting day or a memorable day, you want to sit down with your mates or with your family, chill out, relax, have something to drink, have a chat, chew the fat, and just relax. And that's what I'm doing with you guys. They don't get that. They think that I'm some kind of paid entertainer. And it's not like that at all, is it? It's just us hanging out together. Pals. Oh, what's this? A photo. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a plateful. Right, that is the M11's Christmas lunch. And it was sent to the community phone, not my personal phone. So that means I'm allowed to share it with you. If it was private, she would have sent it to my phone. If it comes to the community phone, I'm allowed to share it. There you go. I mean, is that homemade Yorkshire pudding? I ask, but it doesn't really matter. I can't say anything about that because I don't. In all the time I've been doing YouTube, I don't think you've seen me actually make Yorkshire puddings because I haven't had anybody round. And as I say, when it's just me, I use ready-made Yorkshire puddings. and it always has been just me. If any of you come round, I guarantee you, they will be homemade Yorkshire puddings. That looked lovely, Ems. Bloody good plateful, wasn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I will share mine with you tomorrow when I eventually make a bit of lunch. Boaty doesn't pop his cork for just anyone. Hope his winegasm doesn't cause a damp patch. I wouldn't waste this. Oh, that is so good. Honestly, that is so good. A really good wine is a memorable thing. I can remember two or maybe three. I can remember three. I can remember three occasions where unexpectedly I was served a bottle of wine that just stopped you in your tracks. And it was a moment in your life that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Literally. And I can remember there were probably more, but the ones I remember immediately off the top of my tired two glasses of wine down tipsy head were what was the three I was going to say? Right. Okay. One of them wasn't really unexpected. Two of them, arguably. Okay. The one was, I probably told you this before, San Sebastian. I knew nothing about Spanish wine. I was in my favorite hotel in the world, the Monte Gueldo. They had an amazing sommelier, genuinely an amazing sommelier. He became a friend. And he recommended, I said to him, I was totally honest, and I said, look, I know nothing about Spanish wine, but I told him what I liked. I had to describe it in French terms, but he was of an age where Spanish people, if you're my generation and you're Spanish, you speak Spanish and French. If you're a younger generation, you speak Spanish and English. Now, I don't have any Spanish at all, but at that point I was fluent in French. So I was able to talk, and so was he. So we were able to talk in French. So I explained to him what I liked, what I usually drank, and I asked him to give me a wine. And he recommended this wine that was, and as he explained to me, he said, you couldn't have bought this wine last year. It was wine of the year in its category, and it was too expensive. You couldn't buy it. By which he didn't mean that I couldn't afford it. He meant that it was such a price that it wasn't really justifiable. You know, you could get very close to as good for a lot lower figure. He said, but this year, now that that year has gone, it's well priced. He said, and it's amazing. He said all of this in French, so. And I took his advice, and it was beyond sublime. It was absolutely beyond sublime. And it annoys me to this day that because that was long enough ago that I never used to carry a camera, and I did sometimes carry a camera. I didn't habitually carry a camera, and it was very infrequent that I would take photographs. And I didn't take a photograph of the wine bottle. And obviously, we're in a restaurant, in a hotel, our hotel. Well, we didn't own it; we were staying there. And I didn't take a photograph of the wine bottle, so I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But that was one of the moments I remember. The other one, or one of the other ones, was, and I can't remember where I was in France, and we were in a cafe. I had a photo of this. It's one of the many photos that I've lost. It was a really rainy day, and I can't remember where we were, but we were on the coast, and I'm sure that we were on the north coast somewhere. I can't remember where. And we were in nothing flash. We were in a cafe, and again, similar thing. I ordered this bottle of wine, and it was so amazing. And that one I did take a photo of. I think the photo is gone. It might be on a computer somewhere or an old phone somewhere. But I did take a picture of that because that was so amazing. I thought I must. I think I'd learned from the San Sebastian thing, and I'd learned to take a picture of it. And the reason I was amazed by that was, now this was just a normal, I was on a road trip, not a road trip down to San Sebastian. I was just on a French road trip, used to do it all the time. I used to spend a lot of time in France at Joe's place in rural Normandy. And I think I was heading towards the gîte in Joe's. Joe had a 18th century cider farm, massive place, and there were a couple of gîtes on there. And out of season, I used to just be there like all the time. She would give it to me for mates rates. It wasn't going to be let otherwise. She was one of my very best friends. Enjoyed each other's company, all of that sort of thing. And I think I was just on a meandering trip to go there. I think I could get to Joe's easily in a day through the, do the Eurotunnel. And then it was just I think it was the A16 from Coquel. And then you veered off to the right down whatever that road was called. I can't remember. Stopped for lunch at the Aire de la Baie de Somme, my favorite service station in the world. It's amazing. And then over the Pont de Normandy, amazing bridge. €5 used to be. And you could do it easily in a day. On this trip, I'm sure I was doing it in 3 days, stopping at some places that I just fancied stopping at. And I just stopped in this cafe for lunch one day, and I ordered this wine, and it was a Muscadet. And in my mind, then Muscadet is like an everyday plonk. Like in the UK, a 6 or 7 quid, just bottle of everyday non-entity kind of splosh. And I got this bottle of wine, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I remember taking a photograph of that one too. And I thought, right, well, this is learning. There's a decent Muscadet. I had no idea. And I remember, I do remember. So it would have been the next day or the day after when I was at Joe's, and I took her and Alan out for dinner in Bayeux, as in Bayeux Tapestry. And when it came to ordering the wine, I told them about this, and they said, "Oh, yeah, totally, absolutely. You can get an amazing Muscadet around here." So we had another very similar bottle. Well, actually, I think we had about 3 or 4, and it was absolutely superb. And the other time that I remember is the weirdest of all, and it was on my honeymoon, the last part of the honeymoon, and I can't remember which restaurant we were in. It was an incredibly expensive Chinese restaurant. We were in Llandudno at the time. I can't remember where this restaurant was. I don't think it was in Llandudno. I vaguely remember that we wanted some Chinese food, and I remember asking people and saying, "Look, we want the best Chinese food that you can possibly get. We're on a honeymoon." And we were sent to this place. I think it might have been Conwy or somewhere. I remember we had to drive to it, and we had to drive out of Llandudno. I remember that. And we had a bottle of wine there. I say we. When Mrs. Boaty and I used to go out to eat, Mrs. Boaty was a red wine drinker and I'm a white wine drinker. So we always used to have a bottle each because a bottle is the right amount to drink. That's why they serve it as a bottle. It is the correct amount to drink for one person in one night. And I'll fight anybody who says otherwise. And I had this bottle of wine there that was just, and I remember thinking, well, I didn't think you could get wine like this in the UK. This is a game changer. And the restaurant was amazing and the food was amazing. Now, if I could remember what that restaurant was, I would go back there on the 13th and have my birthday, pre-birthday meal there. But I can't remember. I couldn't even remember when we stayed in various places over the honeymoon, but we ended up in Llandudno and stayed at this hotel that was just the most amazing place. Might surprise you in Llandudno, but it was. I couldn't even remember the name of that. Thankfully, in this internet day and age, I was able to, before I went with Emma, I was supposed to be making a video, one of my Welsh videos, Wales, Rediscovering My Homeland. And I was supposed to be telling the story of my history with Llandudno, which would have obviously included my honeymoon. Didn't do it. We didn't do it on the first one because we were too busy having fun. So we decided to go back so I could do it on the next one. And we didn't do it then because we were having too much fun. So I still haven't done it. But I did do the research for it. And I went in the various Llandudno Facebook groups and I said, look, 17 years ago, I went on my honeymoon and we stayed in this, and I described it. It was known as so-and-so's folly, the guy who owned it, because he spent a ridiculous, he owned hotels around Llandudno and other places, but this was his pet. And he spent so much money on it that it could never be profitable. And it was known as so-and-so's folly. I couldn't remember his name. I said, all I can remember about it is that it was ridiculously opulent and that it was a 3-floor hotel, but each floor was a suite. So there were no rooms on the floor. Each floor was a complete suite and this and that. And a few people said, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. So I know what it is now. I know that it's now called Osborne House. And I planned to go and film there and it didn't happen. I'll do it one day. I will do it one day. And I've completely forgotten what the hell I was talking about. I was rambling on about wines and, I don't know. I can't remember now. I think I might be slightly tipsy already. It's because I'm tired. Right, well, the only sensible thing I can do at this point is go to your comments, isn't it? Which I have neglected for a while. What if the wine has a tap, says Peter P? Well, as in a box. Yeah, well, that's like a screw top used to be, isn't it? Lingering on the palate. Oh, Sean. I get the same feel. Right, this is the point I'm enjoying the wine. Sean says, I get the same feeling when I have mint sauce and gravy in a mug. Beautiful. Bloody hell, Sean. I've still got. Right, we'll do this. We'll do a tasting thing. When Sean comes here, Sean very kindly sent me what looks like amazing wine, red wine, because he didn't know that I can't drink red wine. I'm allergic to it. It's not a taste thing. I'm genuinely allergic to it. So I said, right, I'll say, and he then very, very kindly sent me the white, one of which I enjoyed last night, one of which I'm enjoying tonight. Well, the red is still here. He sent it me with the beef. What looks like an amazing bottle of red. And that is going to be for Sean when Sean comes here. So Sean, who tells me that he gets the same feeling from mint sauce and gravy in a mug. And it won't even be gravy he's made himself. It'll be bloody bisto. It'll be granules, I guarantee it. We'll sit Sean down here, pole position, and we'll make him do a taste of the no doubt amazing red wine that he bought, and then let him drink that and tell us that it's the equivalent of drinking a mug of gravy and mint sauce mixed together with some bread and butter dipped into it. You bloody animal. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He does make me laugh. Bless him. Oh, Stephen S. Paul is with us. Evening, Potter Claus. Good evening, Stephen S. Paul from across the Henning Pond. I get that same feeling over ladies that are ample, says Andrew Buttigieg. I might just cook some roast potatoes, Tomas, says Simone. Not done that in years. Have you gone years without making simple roast potatoes? They're amazing. I'll be doing them tomorrow too. Anyway, evening and Merry Christmas, everyone, says our friend Stephen S. Paul. Have you tried Barry's tea from Ireland, Sean? Asked Richard. And Sean says, yep, and I didn't like it. There you are. Life on the edge, Simone, says Mystic Hair. High Priestess had Marmite roast potatoes today, and apparently they were lush. We don't have chesty ladies on this channel. Oh, wait, says Peter P. Yeah, we do have the odd chesty lady on this panel, on this channel, don't we? Yorkshire Tea Gold is a decent, strong brew, says Richard knowledgeably. Oh, roast potatoes. Haven't had them in ages too, Simone, says Andrew. Yeah, well, you're in Australia. That's understandable. Sprinkle some semolina on your spuds for extra crunchy goodness, Simone, says Mystic Air. Well, that's a fallacy. I have it on good authority that is a fallacy. Right. Now, I heard it ages ago from somebody, and then I heard it very recently. I think it was on the radio, or was it on a TV show or on a YouTube thing? I don't know. But the semolina thing came from Nigella. And a chef said, and I've heard it from two different chefs, a chef said her roast potatoes have got nothing to do with the semolina. Nothing to do with that. Her roast potatoes were the way they were because she used so much fat that they were effectively deep fried potatoes, not roast potatoes. The semolina was just a cunning ploy. It's because they were effectively deep fried. How true that is, I don't know. Some people swear by flouring their potatoes before roasting them. I never do. My trick with roast potatoes, and I'll name drop here, Heston Blumenthal agrees with me. He does them this way. None of your flour, none of your semolina, none of that. He maintains, and I'd already started doing this, that the trick with your roast potatoes is to overboil them, over parboil them. You parboil them until they're breaking down and cracking at the edges. And then you roast them in, well, I roast in olive oil, normally infused olive oil. Some of you might use vegetable oil, some of you might use goose fat, whatever you want to do. But whatever you roast them in, something nice. If you've parboiled them until they're broken at the edges, then all of those broken edges, they allow the olive oil or whatever you want to use. Olive oil is healthier. That's why I use it. Goose fat is amazing, but God knows it's not healthy. But those broken, crinkled edges, they will absorb it all and they will go wonderfully crispy. But then you've got that lovely, moist, soft interior. And that's what makes the perfect roast potato. Heston Blumenthal said that, and on record, he said it on Wogan, on the breakfast show. And I know because I listened to Wogan anyway, but I especially listened to that one because something that I wrote was on that show. So I wasn't going to miss that. You didn't get paid for writing for Wogan, but you did get alerted as to when your stuff was going to be on. Not always, actually, but sometimes. So there you go. That is my hint for roast potatoes. But, do them however you want to do them. Everybody's mum did the best roast potatoes in the world, or everybody's gran did. And now we are somebody's mum or gran. So we're doing the best roast potatoes in the world. So anyway. Bad Book says, Peter, Mrs. Lloyd Webber has very nice bangers. You don't get that on Hubner. Mrs. Lloyd Webber has very nice bangers. Fucking hell. Oh, God, really? Okay. Simone says, crispy roasters with gravy. Bangers, says Peter P. God. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. So I didn't read those out, but that made me laugh. Nothing beats a homemade Yorkshire pud, says Andrew. I would agree with that. Which again makes me a hypocrite because a lot of the time I can't be asked to do it. If I'm cooking for somebody else, I will make the Yorkshire puddings. If it's just me, I just buy them. They might not be quite as good, but they're not bad. And if I didn't work, like if I had a Sunday off, then if I didn't work on a Sunday, then even for myself, I would probably make Yorkshire puddings. But it's always a bit of a race against time. You've got to get to work. Like tomorrow, my Christmas lunch day, frozen Yorkshire puddings. Well, they won't be frozen when I cook them. They were fresh when I bought them, and I'll defrost them. They'll be fresh when I cook them. But you know what I mean. I didn't make them. But that's my excuse. I've got to go to work tomorrow. I'm knackered, says Emma. I'm sure you are, my lovely. I bet you've had a hard day. Feet up and relax for a while, Emma. You really well deserve it, says Andrew. And Peter P agrees. Emma, feet up. Have a cup of mint sauce with gravy. I've not been watching, says Emma. Sorry, I'm so knackered. Thought I'd just show you my lunch though. Took me hours to cook. Was underappreciated, but hey ho. Ah, says High Priestess. It looked delicious. Emma's only just cooking dinner. Only just finished cooking the dinner, says Steve. Oh, Em, says Andrew. I'd certainly appreciate a cracking meal like that, that's for sure. Oh, Ross is here. Hello, everyone. A bit dusty tonight. It is that time, isn't it? Oh, God, what's going on? Yep, says Ross. Casualty is nice and cool. Decided to miss my dining chair and the old glasses. And the old glasses paired the old cranium to getting glued up. What have you done, mate? What have you done? We've tried the semolina thing and it worked a treat, said Mr. Kev. Well, there you go. If it works for you, that's grand. High Priestess says, I use plain flour. Again, if it works, grand. Hot oil is a top tip. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Potatoes crumble at the edges, into hot oil. Oh, fantastic. But everybody's got their own way of doing it, and everybody's a fabulous. Lord, says Andrew. Night all and bosh, says Steve Colg. Boaty, read your bloody text message. Top tip for the newbies, says Andrew. Make your Yorkshire puds in empty frayed Bentos tins. God. Right, what am I reading now? Hold on. Oh, well, I've got this one. Oh, it's from Simone, who's too poorly to actually ring in, but did text. Oh, shall I try and do it in the voice? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Right, here we go. Hello, Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if I went to work and found Chinese madam turning one out in your parking space. Oh, God. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Oh, Lord above. Now, if Simone had sent that in, I would play it again for effect, but I can't read it out again. It would break me. Right, well, as instructed, I feel thoroughly drunk now. I'm nowhere near the bottom of that bottle of wine. That's good wine for you, and being really knackered. But I feel fisters apart. I genuinely do. Right, as instructed, I will pound the box. For those who are new to this is a box that the lovely Sean James Cameron very kindly sent to me at the time that I bought a telephone table for the front parlour with a 1960s GPO telephone, and he had this box and he thought it would suit the telephone table perfectly. And I can't remember how this happened, but we decided that I should put £1 into the box on a nightly basis, and then that money would be, it would amass over the year, obviously, and then the money would be deployed for my birthday treat. So that's what it is. So Sean's box will be emptied on my table prior to my birthday trip to Llandudno, and the money will be used for a nice meal, a night in a hotel I've wanted to stay at forever, and possibly to try and seduce some of the 70, 80 and 90-year-olds who apparently inhabit the place. So there we are. There is the box. There is the pound. And 3, 2, 1, in it pops. So that is the box pounded. Have I got any other outstanding, and I don't mean outstanding as in amazingly wonderful, I mean outstanding as in I haven't given them the attention that they deserve, texty doings? Anything on Messenger? No, I'm caught up. I am all caught up. We had Yorkshires that ended up being half the size of the dinner plate, says Ross, but they were delicious. And then people are just laughing at Simone. Filth, pure filth, says Mr. K, and I love it. Simone broke Boaty. Now my Christmas is complete, says Andrew. Stephen S. Paul says, you're a lady, Simone, for goodness sake. Peter P says, Simone doesn't send stuff like that to Hubnut. My kind of girl, says Mr. K. Andrew says, Peter P, Carly would love it, though. She's the filth of that relationship, is Carly, isn't she? She really is. Carly is the cheeky one. Oh, yeah. Any time that you can get how can I put it? all of my live streams are getting demonetized again. Not that it matters, it's only a couple of hours, about 60p or something. But if there's any possibility of a bit of an innuendo regarding, tradesmen's entrance, pottering, then Carly's all over it. She loves that. I know it's a really inappropriate thing to say about a stranger and a mother and a YouTube public figure, but I bet that she's great fun in between the sheets. Oh, dear. Imagine Carly on here with Boaty, says Andrew. God, it'd be a filth fest. Right then, darlings, I have caught up with the comments. We've got 5 minutes of Christmas Day left. We've pounded the box. We're just all caught up. There are 57 of us here together, and we can do whatever we want with the rest of the time. Well, she's Welsh, so that explains it all, really. Well, that's a Gavin and Stacey reference, isn't it? That the Welsh are filth, and it's kind of true. Hubnut would need a new track rod end. It's a weird one, isn't it? It's totally inappropriate to talk about this sort of thing. But I struggle to, not that I try to imagine it, but I struggle to imagine that because, Carly is a little tinker, bless her. And I can't see Ian, maybe he's got hidden depths, but I don't know, he just strikes me as a bit straight-laced in that department. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're a right fireball pairing when it comes to it's none of our business, and we shouldn't even be talking about it. Let alone Boaty must go to Rustival. God, I'd rather have colonic irrigation. I can't imagine anything worse. Nothing against Ian, who I've never met. Matt, who I have met and I think is wonderful, an amazing guy. And Steph, who I've never met but have spoken to via message and whatnot. Nothing against any of them, but I'd rather have colonic irrigation than go to Rustival. I would pay not to go there, honestly. And it's nothing against Rustival per se. I'm not saying that I'd go to another one, but I wouldn't go to Rustival. They're all the same. If you want to know what they're like, then look at a short or a clip that Matron did. I think it was Matron, I'm sure it was, of one of the very few car shows that I did go to. And it was dreadful. It was awful. It was Matt. It was the Furious Driving do at whatever it was, Shepton Le Mallet, Eldrum, the motorist at Eldham in Shenbourne or something like that. It was bloody awful. I hated it. I hated every minute of it. It was awful. And there is, and I didn't understand what you were supposed to do, how you were supposed to enjoy it. I genuinely didn't understand. How are you supposed to enjoy this? It's awful. It's dreadful. And there's a clip on YouTube. I think I've got it on as a short. I think it's called Turn Up, Look Bewildered. And I'm standing there talking to the camera, having one of the worst days of my life. Oh, God, it was so awful. And there was a child who was taken past by two parents. And the child looked bewildered. And I knew how the child felt because I was exactly the same. It's like, why have you brought me here? This is awful. We could be doing something nice. And instead, I get the impression that I should be enjoying myself and be grateful and happy to be here. And I wish I wasn't here. And that was the bewildered look in the child's eye. And I referenced it as I was talking to camera. And I said, a child has just been taken past looking bewildered I said, and I completely understand it. It's the most bewildered looking human I've ever seen. But I said, I completely get it. And I said, maybe that's what you're supposed to do at these things. Maybe that's all there is to it. Turn up, look bewildered, bugger off, a bit poorer, or something like that. I'm sure it's on a short, but that wasn't written or planned or anything like that. I was just stuck there at this thing. I'd been persuaded to go. I'd been told I'd enjoy it, or it would be good for the channel or something. And it was absolutely awful, as all car shows and meetups are. It was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. You have to get up early in the morning, and then you have to drive somewhere that you would never want to go to normally if you had any sense. And then what do you do when you're there? You park up and you stand in a car park or in a field with other people who've done the same thing. They've turned up in a car park in a field, and you can eat some really crap food that's really overpriced. You can look at other cars if you want to. You can make a film about it in 13 different episodes if you're Mr. Joseph Lloyd. And it was just awful. And then you go, and that's a day of your life that you've wasted. I can think of approximately 54 million things that are better things to do than go to a bloody car show. Oh, honestly, awful. Ian wears socks in bed for FFS, says Richard. Does he? Carly has a lovely bottom end, says Andrew. Pokehunters 100 says, thanks, Boaty. Great live. Night, everyone. God, that's it. Christmas Day has gone, darlings. It is 1 minute past Christmas Day. We're now into Boxing Day, and it's all over with for another year. And quite honestly, I say thank God, because this has been the hardest day of my year. Literally, the last time I had a day as hard as this was last Christmas, and that was last year, so that doesn't count. I'm tired, but it's a good tired. I'm happy. I've loved this 3-hour session with you guys, and I'm looking forward to a nice, restful day tomorrow, cooking a nice Christmassy lunch, and then going to work tomorrow night, hanging out with my family at the restaurant. I forgot to even look at the bookings to see what we've got tomorrow night. I've got no idea how busy it's going to be or otherwise, but whatever, it'll be a light relief after today. So there we are. I have to say, says Mr. Caird, it would bore me to tears. Are you guys still here, says Carl Burton? Of course we are, the night is young. Hubnut would be sleeping in the Belingo if Boaty got Carly on here. I don't really do car shows, says Stephen Espel. My back property is its own car show. Same goes for work. Cars frigging everywhere. Simone's off to bed as well. There are lots of nighty nights. Night. Everybody's saying good night. What time hell do you do that's hard, Boaty? What time hell do you do that's hard? No idea what that means. Can anybody translate from American for me? What time? Oh, is that supposed to be what the hell do you do that's hard? Well, I did a Christmas Day service at the restaurant today. 9 hours straight, on my feet, non-stop. Didn't sit down. Had my lunch at 8 p.m. We all had our lunch at 8 p.m. It wasn't just me. We worked hard today, I promise you. Everybody. I hope my Google Welsh Translate was correct earlier on your post, says Richard. I glimpsed at it, but I apologize, darlings. I'm super busy, what with this, that, and the other. I haven't read and replied to the comments on the Christmas poem or the other video. Yeah, I'll do those tomorrow. So I'm sure it'll be pretty good, Rich. Night, night, Boaty. I'm off ski. Good night, all, says Mystic Air. So, yeah, I guess I want to keep going now. I don't want this to stop, but, oh, I suppose we should. I should get the Momo on, shouldn't I? Am I going to watch Gavin and Stacey? Do you know what? It's 4 minutes past midnight. Normally I would keep on for another half an hour, but we've been going 3 hours. My microphone's about to go. I'm sure you've all got other things to do or beds to go to or this, that, or the other. I think I might just bugger off, get Gavin and Stacey on and watch as much of it as I can before I fall asleep. I'm going to make some Momo, have my special Momo chutney, enjoy the rest of this amazing wine. Thank you again, Sean. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm really touched that so many of you have given me your time tonight. We've been up in the 60s again. I'm sure there were over 60 people watching at one point. There are over 50 at the moment. And on a Christmas night at this time, that is amazing. And it's testament to you guys and the community and what we've created together. And I'm really touched and heartwarmed by that. I will do, Richard. I will enjoy the rest of the wine. Put my feet up. Oh, I've got some washing up to do. I'll do that before I go to bed. But I will have something to eat. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bugger off. I'm going to put Gavin and Stacey on here. I'll potter around the kitchen, having a bit of a tidy, getting ready for tomorrow. I don't want to leave the place a tip. I don't want to get up to a mess tomorrow morning. I can do that while the Momo is cooking, and I will watch as much of Gavin and Stacey as I can. I just want to say thank you so much for tonight and the build up to Christmas and everything. Thank you so much for your company. Thank you for making this community such an amazing community, and I hope you've had a good day. Whatever you've done, wherever in the world you are, I hope today has been okay, or I hope today will be okay, depending on where you are. So, and I wish you all a safe and peaceful night, or a great day ahead, or both. A safe, peaceful night when that time comes, and a great day ahead that you can take at least a modicum of joy from, somehow, somewhere. But above all, roast lamb for Boxing Day lunch. Yeah, okay. But above all, thank you so much for your company. And my Christmas would have been a lot worse without you. It would have been coming home from a restaurant full of frivolity and joy and hard work. It would have been okay coming back here because I've had that interaction with my colleagues, my family, the customers. I would have been okay coming back home and it being empty and quiet, and I could have managed with that. But coming back to you guys has just it's turned the day from being manageable, it's turned the day into being an absolute joy. So thank you for that. Thank you for making a difference to my life generally. Thank you especially for doing it at Christmas, a very special time of the year for so many. Okay, darlings, I'm going to go. But the candle will be relit. I won't blow it onto Hedgie. I did read that comment. Look, I'll move it. I'll blow this way. The candle will be relit tomorrow night. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. Tomorrow night, 11 o'clock for Thursday Night Live. Please join me if you can. Thank you again for your company tonight and throughout the run up to Christmas. And thank you in advance for joining me in the future and joining each other and just being amazing people. Why am I doing that with my hands? Stop talking, go to bed. Let them go to bed. Okay, I will. Seriously, much love from me. Thank you all so much. Hopefully, see you tomorrow night. Okay, much love. Merry Christmas. Pachu, and indeed a huge Christmassy bosh. Good night, darlings.